Alright guys, welcome back to the 2K King of the Ring, where things just got a little bit controversial. So this week, I was set to take on Big Red New York in the losers bracket in a rematch of our first round match to see who went on to face Denk in the semi-finals. However, over the course of 2 days, we must have attempted at least 20 matches and constantly came up against the problem known as the 2K servers. So this is how it went down. Sometimes we'd get disconnected before the match even began, sometimes we'd get disconnected as the match loaded, other times we'd get disconnected randomly, usually pretty early on, but then there were a few times when Red was dominating and we lost connection, and there's a few times when I was dominating and we lost connection. Eventually, we did finish 2 matches, but both those were under glitchy circumstances. The first one took place on Saturday, and that had John Cena. I think he finally had enough because he decided to turn heel, he took out all his frustrations on the referee, and he got himself DQ'd in the process. Now, a DQ, it should stand, but I didn't want to go through on that. Even though Red did make the offer, I didn't want to go through because I thought it would be a little bit cheap. So that kind of brings me on to the second glitch. So this took place on Sunday when we decided, the servers might be working a little bit better. We'll retry then. So we're having a pretty even match. I had a finisher stored, so I knew if I was going to get pinned, I had resiliency. And Red, he whipped us into the ropes, he hit a catapult A, went for the cover, and I figured I had this one covered. It was a first finisher, I hadn't taken much damage, I had resiliency, and for some reason, there's no blue bar. There is no blue bar. Now, I don't want to say what I said in commentary, because I would have probably bleeped that out, because I was quite frustrated. But this is the first time I've had this glitch. The bar didn't actually fill up, so I couldn't kick out of it. I kept pressing triangle the second time to see if it would actually kick out on resiliency, and it did absolutely nothing, so I was absolutely stunned at that point. I couldn't believe it. I was just hating the game. I hating the servers more than anything. And I said, Red, use that anyway. I don't mind going out. I'm just going to blame the servers. So at least I can take that defeat, and I can be happy with it. But Red, he didn't want to do that because he'd already had the DQ and he'd offered to go through on that, and I said no. And it was kind of a case, well, what do we do? So we had a few more matches. Again, it constantly disconnected. Again, before the match, during it, it was just an absolute nightmare. So Red said, I'll take the DQ loss. I'll go through on that. I was like, no, don't do that. We had a proper finish in this one. The pin bar screwed me, but I don't care. I'll go out. You can go through. So it was kind of, we're so polite. We're both saying, no, you go through. You go through. You go through. So we couldn't come to a conclusion on it. We're putting it up to the group, and Chris come up with the idea of, why don't we post both finishes, explain what happened, and rather than one person go on to face Denk and then see who faces CM Pulse, that sets up a triple threat match. So now in the losers bracket, we'll have a triple threat match between me, Big Red New York, and Chris Denk. So that'll decide who goes on to the final of the 2K King of the Ring to take on CM Pulse, playing as the Beast Brock Lesnar. So we're still in this, just about. The server has been an absolute nightmare this week, and like I say, it was taking place over the course of multiple days, so it wasn't just once. And I was fed up. I was ready to quit, ready to go home, but we're still in this. We've still got a chance. So guys, that brings us to the end of this video. It's been a bit of a nightmare. Sorry there isn't a match for you to watch this week, but hopefully we can make up for that next week with the triple threat. So let me know what you think of all this controversy. Let us know in the comments your prediction for the triple threat and who's going to go on to face CM Pulse. But until next time, catch you later.